Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in. So, I've spoken multiple times before about using AI to understand conflict, to analyze conflict, maybe even to predict conflict. Now, what we have done lately with my startup, Brainbridge Solutions, is we have collaborated with one of the most prestigious institutions in Europe. It's called Konrad Adenauer. It's in Germany. And we have conducted a full project, probably the first of its kind, where we are using large language model knowledge graphs in order to analyze the conflict in general. But the case study was the Syrian coast massacres that took place in March of last year. So today, what I would like to show you is the power of this technology, how to understand, how to use these knowledge graphs, and how to basically get information from them. Now, what we are doing here is we are using a platform called Neo4j. It's a little bit advanced, but what I'm doing today is show you kind of the principles, the basics of how to use it, and hopefully you will benefit from it and you'll be able to have a better idea of how to use this technology and to understand its potential for the future. So let me share my screen with you, and then I will show you how it can be done. Okay, so here we are. So if you want access to this database, we give it for free. All you have to do is just contact me and I will send you an invitation via your email. But so this is once you get the invitation and once you're in, then you'll be able to get inside this knowledge graph and learn how to use it much more effectively. So this is an example of the knowledge graph. What I will show you is the first thing you do is you go to query, right? And here you see all kinds of nodes and relationships that we have done in this analysis. And the database is so big that basically you cannot fetch all of it at the same time. And in fact, it doesn't matter that much, and I don't think this is the best way to do it. The best way to do it is to choose the angle of the analysis that you want to focus on, and then you can take it from there and expand. I will show you how. So if you look at the nodes, we have actor, discourse pattern, event, hashtag, location, massacre, and narrative type. So all these are the kinds of nodes, the kinds of topics that our analysis have done. And all you have to do is just focus on one of them. So it's good to say at this point that this whole thing was done completely automatically using large language models. What we have done is we downloaded thousands and thousands of comments and posts from social media, and then we analyzed them using a large language model, and then we converted them into a knowledge graph like you see here. So the best thing to start is to choose the angle. On what angle do you want to focus? So as you see here, we have actor, discourse pattern, event, hashtags, location, massacre, whatever. Let's say we want to start with actor. So let's say we press on actor like this. Okay, and as you see here, we get some actors. What you can do here is you can go to limit and just expand the limit, let's say 2500. So we know we're getting all the actors. And now you have all the actors that were discussed in the context of the massacres that took place in Syria, in the Syrian coast last March. And now you do right click and you do explore graph. It will take some time. Okay, so this is the graph. And then what you can do, the best way to do it, is you can zoom in and you can choose the actor that you are interested in. So these are all the actors that were mentioned within the context of the massacres, right? So let's say we want to see what did people say about the Arab League and its role. So you can go to expand, put all, and now you see what other nodes are linked to it. So as you see here, there's an event, Arab Foreign Minister meeting in Cairo to discuss Syrian issue. So you can see here, and so basically the relationship is support, and here one is Arab solidarity, and basically Arab League. Yes. So this is what was discussed when it comes to the Arab League, and it doesn't have to be necessarily linked to the massacres, because remember the data is really big, but you need to basically exercise judgment and see which one can help you most. So if I take you, let's say we take another one, say Alawite women, for example. Right click, expand all. Let's see what people said about Alawite women. So, discourse pattern, hate speech against Alawite women. So people are saying there's hate speech against Alawite women. Name here, okay. This is Qutayba Yassin. This is an influencer in Syria, and it says Qutayba Yassin denials of kidnapping and accusation of Alawite women. And here you see another event, and it says alleged kidnapping of Alawite women by HTS in Syrian coastal region. So you can see here that this event is targeting Alawite women. So it gives you a good idea of what people were discussing regarding the context of these massacres that took place. Let's say we want another one. Okay, Ahmad al-Shara, Alawite groups, Erdogan, which one are we going to choose? Let's say Ahmad al-Shara. Let's say what people are saying about Ahmad al-Shara. Okay, this is an event, discourse on Turkish involvement in Syrian coastal massacres, and that says solidarity. Of course, Ahmad Shara has solidarity with himself. So this is basically solidarity for Ahmad al-Shara within the context and in the corpus that we have analyzed. What else do we have here? Let's choose something else. Alawat community. We expand. Okay, what is this event? Discourse on sectarian violence and blame in Syrian coastal region. And this discourse is supporting the Alawat community. And here, discourse pattern, solidarity, Alawat community, Sunni community, and victims' families. And this solidarity is also targeting Alawite community. So these are the kinds of discourses, the kind of narratives that are taking place. So this is a part of the corpus that we analyzed that is showing solidarity towards the Alawite community. Okay, let's choose something else. Maybe something a little bit different. Syrian media, let's say. Let's see, okay. Let's see. And now we have here Syrian media. The event is call to action for media to expose Syrian regime atrocities. And this one is discourse pattern, which is solidarity. So as you can see here, it's basically a sea of information that we can use to get all kinds of information that might be very helpful. Basically, you can get hundreds of reports, hundreds of studies from this database. I will show you later how to actually do it in maybe an easier way. It's not as as thorough as here, but it's probably easier. I'll show you how. Let's choose just one last one. Victims of Syrian coastal massacre. Expand. And here you see solidarity. So there's a discourse pattern of solidarity, victims of Syrian coastal massacres. And here you have discourse, which is discourse on Syrian coastal massacres. And it says supports. So this discourse, there's a discourse here that supports the victims. Okay, so this is, in general, the basic principles of how you can use knowledge graph in conflict analysis. Now, there's a better way. I don't know if it's better. There's another way that might make it easier. I think it's better to kind of do it both ways. So you look at the graph while at the same time you do this. You go to export, and then you export it as a CSV. You do next, and then you export this data. These two are the ones you need most. So this one you don't need necessarily, but I'll show you why later, because this one is the biggest file. So what you can do is you can export them, And then you can take that data and you can give it to your favorite chatbot. I recommend Claude. I think Claude is the best. So you can take that data, give it to Claude in the chat, or create a single project if you know Claude better. You can go to Claude, create a project, give it this data, and then ask Claude specific questions about what's happened in the massacres, about the data, and then Claude will go into the data and read it for you and do all kinds of analysis that you might not be able to do on your own, or Claude will be able to give you all kinds of insights that will not be clear from the first sight, from the first time you see the knowledge graph. So the best way to get the most out of this knowledge graph is to do both. You look at the knowledge graph and then you give the data to Claude and ask it specific questions. Okay, so this is basically just a quick explanation of how you can use knowledge graph in conflict analysis. If there's anything specific that you would like me to focus on, anything interesting, any questions, let me know in the comments below and I will make sure to make videos about it in the future. In any case, thank you for showing up today and I will see you later.